Hey, I've been in this business for over 40 years, and during that time, I've discovered that fundraisers tend to make the same mistakes over and over again. So I sat down one day and I just made a list of the 10 familiar faults found in fundraisers. So I'm gonna go over those with you. Number one is fundraisers want to cultivate, cultivate, and cultivate. Then you know what they do next? They want to cultivate some more. They never close. So in this business, closing is the key. You have to close. And we have a rule here at the Smith Group. We say that you've got to ask for a gift on the third visit. We call it the rule of three. Number two, fundraisers don't spend quality time each week making appointments. So I've said this before. If you get the appointment, you're 80% there. So why wouldn't you spend a lot of time, quality time, making those appointments? Most fundraisers don't do that. Number three, fundraisers don't ask enough questions during preliminary and solicitation meetings. That is certainly something that fundraisers do not do enough of. You know what they do? They go into a meeting and they make assumptions based on what they heard. They get back in their car, they leave the meeting, and they assume they heard this. And sometimes their assumptions are right, sometimes their assumptions are wrong. If a question comes up or if an issue comes up and you don't understand it, ask the question. Ask those questions. Number four, fundraisers never use the same words in making the ask. I've got a 5-step approach I've used. You've heard me make that 5-step approach before, and I use the same words. I use the same words every time. If you don't like my 5 steps and you don't like the words I use, make up your own words, but use the same words over and over again. You know why? That gives you confidence when you're making that request. So you're not thinking about, well, I've got to say next, or maybe I'll say this or not say that. So use the same words in making those asks. Number 5, fundraisers don't understand the importance of a well-organized stewardship plan. Boy, today, in today's environment, stewardship is so important. Why? Because there are 1.5 million nonprofit organizations out there. They're growing by 30 to 40,000 per year. If you're not doing stewardship, or you're not stewarding the gifts people make, they're not going to give to you again. So you've got to be able to thank people, and you thank them on a continuous basis every time they make a gift. Number 6, fundraisers don't move prospects from an event to a major gift prospect list. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, let's say you have a golf tournament and you have 100 people taking part in the golf tournament. So what I'm saying to you, take those people that are in the golf tournament, run them through electronic screening. And there's some people that you're going to know, but there are others that you don't know anything about. And the prospect rating will tell you who the key prospects are. Then you take those 5 or 10 key prospects from that golf tournament and you put them on your major gift list so that you can start cultivating that relationship, eventually make an ask. Number 7, fundraisers are reluctant to follow up and follow through after a solicitation. That's my 5th step in my 5 steps, is you got to follow up 7 to 10 days after making the ask. Most fundraisers are reluctant to do that. They can make the ask, but they don't want to follow up. You have to follow up and follow through. You have to do that because you have to close. Number 8, some fundraisers have a job and not a career. Some people have a job and not a career. And in this business, if you want to succeed, you got to consider this business as a career, not just a job. Number 9, fundraisers are looking for a shortcut to success. There are no shortcuts here. You can't take the elevator to the top. You can't take the escalator to the top. You got to take the stairs. And number 10, fundraisers don't understand this is a we business, not an I business. This is a team sport, not an individual sport. So I've just listed 10 familiar faults found in fundraisers. Think about this. Look at this this video again. But if you're part of making those mistakes, try to change those. Try to change those mistakes and do better next time.